Alright, welcome back to another video over here on SCS Combat, and today I'm going to be giving you my official prediction for Ryan Garcia versus Mario Barrios going down this weekend for the WBC welterweight world title. What a fight this should be. Ryan Garcia always brings that energy, always brings that smoke, brings that power, brings that speed of that left hook. Mario Barrios, on the other hand, brings just sheer determination, the grit, also has good power himself and pretty good stamina. So let's get into it because I'm pretty hyped for this one. Now, starting off, I suppose on the side of the champion, Mario Barrios has had a couple of rough fights in a row, if we're going to be honest here. You look at the likes of the Abel Ramos fight that he should have won, ends in a draw, and he gets dropped in that fight, although he does get the knockdown back. Then you have the Manny Pacquiao fight, which was the most concerning overall, probably for Mario Barrios. 46-year-old Manny Pacquiao. Manny Pacquiao is one of the greatest ever. There's no denying that. But the fact that he come back out of retirement at 46, looked at a current world champion for his return fight, said, I reckon I could beat him, and then pretty much, if there was a winner of that fight, it would have been Manny Pacquiao. So the fact that he believed that he could beat Barrios is kind of a talent sign. 2 back-to-back draws to keep the world title shows Mario Barrios is one of the weakest world champions in boxing potentially right now for the taking, and it looks like Ryan Garcia is going to take that opportunity and take that shot, which he better not miss, because this could well be his last shot at it. Ryan Garcia as well didn't look good in his last fight. That's another thing to mention. He come out Times Square and kind of like everyone else on that card that whole weekend. Actually, when it come to Canelo and Ryan Garcia, Davin Haney, all these fighters didn't really bring it that weekend. Inoue did though with Cardenas. That was a great fight. Yeah, Ryan Garcia coming off that loss to Rolly Romero. Now, Rolly is very discredited. He's actually a better boxer than a lot of people give him credit for. Has pretty decent power as well, as we've learned over the years, and was able to drop Ryan Garcia in that fight. And the same problem always recurs with Ryan Garcia, and it's that whenever he throws that left hook, that right hand is nowhere to be seen, and that leaves him vulnerable to the left hand of his opponent. Whether that be a hook or a backhand, it leaves him open. And even I can put the photo in probably, but Ryan Garcia was putting up a couple of photos on Instagram to show off his physique, and once again he's hitting the pads during it, and you just see his right hand, whenever he's throwing his left hook to the body, is nowhere near his chin, and that is not good, especially whenever that has been the only thing really that's caused him trouble in his career. Every time he gets knocked down, Luke Campbell looping left hand, Hank Davis left overhand, Brody Romero left hand, and that's still the problem. Ryan Garcia has his weakness, but his weakness is also behind his greatest strength, and that is the left hook. Ryan Garcia is one of the most electrocuting, powerful, quickest left hooks boxing's ever seen. You look at one of his earlier fights in his career, there's left hooks he's hit people with that you can't even see them. You have to watch it back to notice what happened, and just like that, their opponent's gone, their legs are shot, or they're knocked out cold. That's how quickly a Ryan Garcia fight can end due to that left hook. One click and it's over. That's it. It is important to mention that obviously before the Rolly Romero fight, Ryan Garcia had the best performance of his career, and that's when he dropped Davin Haney 3 times and beat him by decision. Obviously that got overturned, and there was a whole load of things of saying Ryan Garcia is a drug cheat. My opinions on that, I don't really know. There was a lot of things around that fight. Ryan Garcia did a whole lot of things. We're talking drinking, we're talking missing weight. There's probably a lot of things he done to try and make weight. I don't think he actually ingested steroids on purpose. I do not think he did, I'll be honest, because even the whole way leading up to the fight, he never was on anything, and then after, or closer, I think it was like the day of or the day before, and then the day after, stuff was in his system. So I think that was kind of to lose weight maybe, as he was under pressure fighting for the world title, knowing he was going to miss weight, and he tried to take something and obviously messed up, shouldn't have took it. But I don't think it was like purposely taking a steroid, because he cycled it long enough to get a fact out of it. Davin Haney likes to believe he did, because he knocked Davin Haney down 3 times. Who knows? But that was the best performance of Ryan Garcia's career up until that point. Then you look at, he has that Oscar Duarte win as well, and I believe he's fighting for Richardson Hitchens. So Ryan Garcia's had a lot of good wins, and that left hook, every time he dropped Davin Haney, left hook. Oscar Duarte gone with a left hook. So many of the fighters he's fought gone with a left hook. The weakness, Ryan Garcia, now when it comes to the losses he has against Tank Davis and against Rolly Romero, the Rolly Romero fight, he had no energy, he had no motivation, and he was out of the ring for a year. He went, I don't know what he had done in that Davin Haney fight, but he was nowhere to see him for that Rolly Romero fight. No energy. That kind of just led to a very lackluster fight, and he wasn't willing to throw, and that's why Rolly took it. That was that. Rolly was better on the night. Hank Davis, look, if we're going to be honest here, Hank's not going to fight anyone in a fair fight, or they had to be from the weight below. He has to pick and choose them. He had to drain Ryan Garcia the whole way down, and then got him out of there with a body shot. I don't take much from that. People say Ryan Garcia quit. I've seen some of the toughest fighters that you can see not get up from body shots, and that's the way it goes a lot of the times. Anyone that's been hit with a good body shot knows, especially from a hard hitter. Tank's a hard hitter. They know how painful that can be. So I don't really take much away from that. I did see him say in an interview that he was thinking in the Rolly fight, oh, I wish he'd have hit me harder so I could have stayed down. I'd say he wanted to quit, but he also could have been joking there. I would like to think he was joking. I don't think he would say that if you were actually a quitter. And look, he's proved that he's not. You know, Tank drops him overhand left, gets up. You know, Luke Campbell drops him, he gets up. Rolly dropped him, he got up. So the one time he didn't get up was the body shot against Tank, and that's the way that went. You know, anytime someone gets knocked out and people are like, he could have got up because he got up on the count of 10 or something, you know, everyone accuses everyone of quitting all of a sudden. I don't believe that the way it goes sometimes. Now, Mario Barrios, whenever it comes to his weaknesses now, it was really quite shocking how Manny Pacquiao was able to take him through such a pace, just like Manny Pacquiao just went for it at 46. Mario Barrios couldn't break him. Now, not to suggest that Manny Pacquiao should ever be broken, but he's obviously been knocked out earlier in his career, and we've seen Barrios fighting him at 46 years old, couldn't really make a dent in him, and had to win the last round in order to get a draw. Look, Mario Barrios been dropped himself, weaknesses in that, but he's tough, got good boxing skill, he's got a good win or two on his record, he's got a lot of tough experience on his record. And, you know, he did fight Tank Davis as well, and it took Tank 11 rounds or something to get him out of there. Tough, and he's durable, and he won't stop coming forward. He won't stop bringing that pressure. But I don't know. There's kind of two scenarios here, in my opinion, and it's because even in that Devin Haney fight, Ryan Garcia, I mean, I don't take that as peak Ryan Garcia in his best condition, because obviously we seen what he was doing throughout the training camp, and I mean, that was we all actually thought he was mentally gone. We all thought he was crazy, let's be honest. And he probably didn't train enough. He had a lot of off rounds in that Devin Haney fight, but he had that neutralizer in his left hand. Look, 147 now as well for Garcia. I think he'll be alright. You know, he looks like he's filling up to the weight. You know, he looks alright. I think he posted a video the other day that he's to make 147 and he's 149 a week out. So look, he's all good there. Don't think he'd be missing weight this time. And when it comes to that Mario Barrios, you just gotta think if there's any opportunity for Ryan Garcia to become world champion, this one right here, because no offense to Mario Barrios, but he's the only world champion that I'm aware of right now that's coming off 2 back-to-back draws. Split draws as well sometimes. So look, what is better for boxing here, by the way, as well, is that Ryan Garcia wins this fight, and that leaves a huge fight to be made with Conor Benn as well. For that title, that's the title he wants. I could either see Mario Barrios walking him down the whole fight, Ryan Garcia struggling with the activity, you know, dropping that hand, and Barrios hits hard as well, and maybe Barrios dropping him in the fight and beating him over a decision over the 12 rounds, or getting him out of there in the last 2 rounds. Or the one I'm going to go for is that Ryan Garcia catches him with a left hook. I think he's too quick. I think there's a lot of holes in Mario Barrios' game, and he clearly struggles with speed, because even a 46-year-old Manny Pacquiao was still very quick, and that's Ryan Garcia's main thing, is speed. And clearly Barrios struggled to finally catch up that speed to win the 12th round to get a draw. You know, that shows that he struggles with speed. Mario Barrios has been dropped as well, and that's to be mentioned, so he's been stopped before as well. So look, I think Ryan Garcia is gonna come into this one more motivated and more prepared than ever. I think he knows that he has to for this one, and he has to prove a point to come and win the world title. And I think he knows that he's got the money now, he needs the world title. And I think I'm going to pick Ryan Garcia, and I'm going to pick him to get it done by left hook stoppage, whether that be to the body or the head. And we know he's brilliant at hiding that left hook to the head, shooting it to the body. That's how he stopped Luke Campbell. That's how he got him out of there, changing levels with that shot. Ryan Garcia is a good fighter when he's at his best. Quite hard to beat with that speed. And I know he's putting weight on, so there's an important balance there, but I would have trust in his coaches. Get that right. He's got experienced coaches. And we know that Mario Barrios has actually joined former coach of Ryan Garcia. I don't know if that'll make a difference or not. If anything, Ryan Garcia could know his tactics as well. So that's kind of equal there. I don't really look into that too much, because the fighter's the fighter at the end of the day. And if Ryan Garcia's season opens that left hook and lands it early in that fight, that could be the end of the story for Mario Barrios. If it goes later, then that's a different story maybe. But I'm going to pick Ryan Garcia to get this one done, be a stoppage, and hopefully move on to a really big fight with Conor Benn. Let me know who you got below in the comments. Yeah. Like, subscribe, follow for more. Instagram, Twitter, TikTok.